Okay, today I want to touch a subject. I think nobody really ever taught me this. I had to learn it myself. And maybe you would not agree with everything. Maybe it's not entirely true, but for me, that's what works, and that's what I think. So the subject of today is pricing, and I've created like subcategories of what I'm going to talk today. The first thing is free tiers. After that, just sell your product for free, what it means. After, I will talk about where to take money before trial or after trial, and after that, how long the trial should be, how to figure out what is the price, and after that, also check your target audience to figure out the price. Check the number of users that can use your product. I'll give two examples of Monday and SEMrush. Then I want to talk about like churning user, and in the end, I want to talk about upselling. So the first thing is free tiers. I don't say free tiers don't work. Many people, many companies are putting out free tiers, and it's very controversial because free tier can work in very specific products where, to be honest, in the end, probably the user would want to upgrade their package as soon as they are going for production or something like that. Because when you put a free tier, when just for your product, maybe if it's not with a lot of things, maybe a lot or whatever, the biggest problem usually is that you are attracting users that came for something that is free. So it will be very hard for them to convert them in the future. And it's not only free users. I have the same thing with lifetime users. They came to my system, they bought a lifetime deal. I have hundreds of them. They never bought a subscription because I targeted a very specific kind of people that use free tiers. So for me, I generally am trying to avoid free tiers, but it really depends on the product. If it's like a B2B classic SaaS tools, marketing tools, and so on, I don't think free tiers is a good idea. The second thing is to put like a package of $0 and not to put any other package, especially maybe because you start and you want to get like users that will try your product. What I think about that is that actually when you put something for free, you really lose a lot of credibility in your product, and you undervalue your product. So basically, putting zero will get you in the end less customers. And also it's coming back to the free tiers that I talked about before. It's okay, like I said before, to put free tier, to put like $0, but at least put something else, another package, so somebody can upgrade or something like that. I would not suggest anybody just to start for free. I did it before and it was very hard. The next subject is before or after trial payment. And if you go to Linvo, my startup, I have after trial payment. And I think after trial payment is a little bit problematic. I usually would prefer before payment, because if you do after, you have to inform the user all the time about their payment, that it's going to be finished. And some people just forget and they never pay, or they're not motivated enough to buy. So in that case, usually I prefer before. Where before is not good, when you have a big churn. Because if you can't keep in your system users for 1-2 months even, and then before is a little problematic because you will get a lot of chargebacks from people that want refund. But generally speaking, and I saw very big companies, most of them, you can take even I think LinkedIn and ClickFunnels, they take before. And I think it's usually better. I know it's very sexy to put like in your website, start now, no credit card needed. I also did that, but in the end, you convert less people. Also, what I think is when people come and pay before, or at least they put their credit card before and they don't pay, but they start the trial, they are more motivated to use the product. And the second thing, they even if they want to cancel, they will have to come inside the system one more time at least to check the system and to do something. So generally speaking, I think before would be better. Again, everything is depends on the use case. And now, how long should the trial be? I remember I was thinking about that a lot because it can be a week, 2 weeks. Many people give 1 month. So what should be like the perfect time to put your trial? And that's a very tricky question. I think it should be like the user already figure out the program and the value that you can give, but he didn't finish with the value. They didn't finish because let's say, for example, I'm offering a LinkedIn automation tool and I offer it for 1 month. Maybe in 1 month, they will already do the automation that they needed and they will just stop the service. So this wouldn't be good for me. So maybe I need to figure out, okay, there's some leads, little bit with Linvo. Okay, 1 week, that's probably enough. So I think, your trial should be determined by the amount of time it takes to the user to get initial value and to understand the system, but not the full value of the system. And then there is another question of how to figure out the price. So obviously you should go and check your competitors because today there is no such product with no competitors almost. If you don't have competitors, then you have some problem probably. Trying to create some new market or something, and it's going to be very hard for you. But you should check the competitors. But then comes the question of, okay, my competitor puts like $100 per month. So how much should I put? Now, usually people say, okay, I will just put less or the same, but let's say less. And less is a very big problem because it's not a problem to put less money compared to your competitor. But if you are going to do that, at least put the lowest amount of money. Like you can be the highest or you can be the lowest, but you don't want to be the second cheapest because there is just no advantage in that. Like the person that's doing the research, watch your product and say, okay, what's the point? I'll just go take the cheapest, or okay, I have the highest one. And it doesn't matter. It's not undervalued. It's not giving you anything else. Actually, I think when you put a higher price, you make your product a little bit more premium and people actually considering buying. So I would usually go for the higher price if I can. And I think the next thing is your target audience. So of course, when you sell something, it's better to sell for target audience with money. So if I'm selling some tools for, very high rank, like architectural level, something crazy for rich people or something like that, I probably can put a very high price. If it's like a B2C SaaS of like, a task manager, something, I'll probably go for a very low price because they will not pay a lot. So I think the target audience really matter. And the next thing is to check the number of users that can use the system. And I'll explain what I mean. Let's take a CRM. Usually you can check many CRMs. I'm not talking about the big ones like Salesforce, but let's say even not a CRM, even a task manager list like Monday or Jira or something like that. They can have a lot of users, and it's like an organization, and the entire organization can be inside the product. And that means that there is a lot of money because you can have a lot of users. So you can put a lower price. This is why we can usually see that task management apps like Trello and Monday or things like CRM, they're usually very cheap because they are building for scale. So this is where you can like put like a lower price because you're not planning on one user, you're planning on hundreds of users. So this is one. And then you have some other tools like SEMrush that is like great for SEO and market research. And you can probably understand, for example, in our company that we have one user with SEMrush. Maybe in the future we will have two or maybe three, but it won't be that much. This is why this tool is so expensive. Like if this tool was if we had a lot of users, it would probably reduce the price of the tool. And like I talked before, there is the whole thing about churning user. So if you can't keep a high retention of user and you see that users are leaving you a lot, I would suggest to do a few things that we have done. First of all is to try to sell yearly plans. It's sometimes better. It put also more commitment for the user to go and use the system, and they are committing for a whole year. So you can actually get a nice amount of money. Or if you have a high, you can sign them like with some kind of like, they pay monthly, but they sign up for a yearly training or something like that. And then they are very committed to the product and they have to do it and to use the product. And in general, if you have a lot of churning user, and some systems are built, I mean, it's weird, but there are some like that. They're built on acquisition. They have very high churn, but they are built on acquisition. So if you know that you are built on acquisition and you're only getting a lot of new users, but you're losing a lot every month, then you should put a higher price. Because if not, you will lose so much money just to find customer and put the market, like do marketing, bring one. You will lose them after 1 to 3 months. So you probably want to put a higher price. You don't have a lot of option to deal with that. And the last one, and that I seen a lot, it's upselling. Not putting an upsell inside your product is a big, big, big mistake. You should have few packages for your customers. It is very known in the marketing world that the best customers are the customers that are coming back, that they bought from you already. So I would suggest to put few packages, few prices, but let people scale over time. Good option, good things to see. For example, as SaaS is Netflix. Like I think I started with the lowest package, and over time I grow my package and made it like bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think this should be in every company. I have only one package because I'm lacking of programming staff, and it takes so much time to make few packages, and it was a mistake from the start. But I think it's one of the worst mistakes I've done. So you should also focus a lot on upselling, and you can put a lot of upselling that are not packages inside your app, inside the pricing page, but like upsell from the dashboard. Like, you want five more user? Oh, click this button, you get 5 more. So upselling is one of the best way to generate more money. So I hope all this was helpful, and see you tomorrow.